In this video, we're going to try a bottle of Blackberry wine that I started making 6 months ago. Find out where it stands. Hi, I'm Charles and welcome to DIY Fermentation, your site for doing fermentation on a shoestring budget. Now then, before we begin, I'd like to give a special shout out to Super Clean for helping to sponsor this particular video. They provided me with some free samples that I've been using around the house, especially my kitchen, to help keep that clean as possible. Now then, 6 months ago, if you saw my video, you saw me make my first batch of Blackberry wine. Now, in that video, there was a mistake that was made. And I pointed this out in the comment section, and every time I've got a chance to point it out, I make it known that the original recipe called for 4 pounds of sugar. Okay, like a dummy, I put in 4 pounds of sugar. It should have been more like 4 cups of sugar, and had I used a hydrometer, I would have known that while I was adding the sugar. Believe me, I have not made that mistake since. I was able to correct the mistake later on by diluting the musk. When it came time to bottling, basically adding a cup and a half of additional water to help, let's just say, thin it down a bit and help bring down the AVB level just a little bit. Now, as far as the AVB level is concerned, this one came in at 20.6 after I finally got it down to that level, which is still pretty potent. The original wine yeast that I use, the Premier Classique, was only supposed to be rated at 18% AVB before it was supposed to give it up and move on to the next life. But no, it ended up being quite high, which I don't mind. If I just want something with alcohol, this will definitely do it. But again, there was a mistake, and I just want to point out that if you're adding sugar to your wine or adding sugar to your musk, use a hydrometer so you'll get the measurements to your liking initially. I don't mind it being a sweet wine. I mean, I was going to back sweeten it anyway. I mean, I like my wine semi-sweet for the most part. So this one turned out okay without me having to do some additional back sweetening. But that's not a method that I prefer using because you're kind of guesstimating what A, the AVB level is going to be, and B, what the sweetness level is going to be. I'd much rather have it go dry and then back sweeten it, or do step back sweetening it to get it to the level I want before I put it in the bottle. So that's where we stand with this particular bottle of wine. Now, the last time I had a chance to actually taste this wine was when I was bottling it, and I was trying to thin it down a bit so that it would be drinkable. And that basically meant using a little 3-ounce Dixie cup and just putting just enough down at the bottom just to make sure that I could taste the amount of sugar that was remaining after trying to water it down a bit. So I haven't really tasted it in about a month or so. So this would be a good time to do the tasting now and to get right down into it. Oh, at some point, you guys will eventually start seeing me use a regular waiter's corkscrew, but as long as this one still works, then that's the one I'm going to use. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, although it is clear, there's just a tiny little bit of haze in there. Yep, just a small amount of haze. Blackberry smell is definitely comes through, as does the alcohol. I would probably say the alcohol has a slight edge over the aroma of the blackberry. The blackberry taste is nice and strong. Wasn't really affected by the thinning down that I had to go through. You don't really get the strong alcohol that's actually in this wine. Uh, you get it when you're inhaling it while your nose is in the glass. It's not overpowering or anything. The wine itself, at 6 months old, like most wines that I've tried, have made and tried at 6 months, still has that level of harshness at the back end, which really only signifies to me that it does require at least another 3 to 6 more months to finally finish. It's got a good mouthfeel. I like the viscosity level. It's just right. For one, really don't, and this is just me personally, I really don't care much for thin wines. I like wines that have a little bit of body to them. So this comes out okay. It's still a bit on the sweet side. This is not a dry wine at all. I didn't have to back sweeten it. I wish I can get my hobby down to the point where I know how much sugar I can add at the front end, which yeast to use at the front end, so that I'll have just the right amount of residual sweetness at the back end. I'm not there yet. Oh no, it's not bad. Given more time, it's actually going to be pretty good. Yeah, given more time, it's actually going to be pretty good. I mean, it's drinkable now. It's drinkable now. But I want to go for that smooth finish at the end. So yeah, I'm going to give it more time. Definitely, you'll be seeing this at the 1 year tasting. By then, as far as I'm concerned, after 1 year, all the wines are going to be all said and done. Is it something that I would make again? Well, I mean, it's not bad now, but I really want to wait until that 1 year for this particular wine. I mean, I don't really think it requires a full year before you get the full ripeness of this bottle of wine. But yeah, I think given a year, as with most wines that I seem to be making, that should just about do it. I don't think a year and a half is necessary for this particular wine. A year should do it. It's funny, also at the very end, is just there's a level of dryness, which is surprising. I mean, it's sweet. It's definitely a sweet wine. It's not a dessert wine or anything. It is on the sweeter side, but at the very end, apart from that harshness, small level of harshness, there is that certain level of dryness that hits you at the back end. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. Let's see, I'm making a pizza for dinner tonight. I think this will pair well with it. Pizza from scratch, by the way, not frozen, not calling up delivery. But yeah, I think this will go well with pizza tonight. So there we go. Blackberry wine, 6 month tasting, AVB level of 20.6%. Good stuff. But definitely, yeah, requires at least another 3 to 6 months before this wine is done. So with that being said, that will be that for this video. See you on the next one.